Hey everybody, this is Vivian Seculariu. I asked about Reiki a couple weeks ago and I wanted to touch up on some of your questions and also just explain Reiki a little bit more too. So I learned Reiki back in 97. I was interested because I used to give my dad massages when he had really severe back pains. And he said, "How do you know where the pain is?" And for me, it was very intuitive, and my hands just took me to where it needed attention. So I didn't discover Reiki until years later, and I was drawn to it. So I've been studying it and on and off ever since then. And I've had clients and I work with the energy pretty regularly. But the first thing I'd say with any kind of energy work is grounding is like the number one important thing. And I didn't even know what that meant that much. Like it was slightly covered, but it wasn't a main thing in the teachings, as well as self-protection. And there's different views about protection. I believe that for sensitive and empathic people who don't have a real strong faith quite yet, or don't have a strong channel or ability to maintain their own auric field and energies, I believe protection is really important. So coming back to Reiki, Reiki stands for Universal Life Force Energy, and it's a channeled energy that anyone can obtain. And the Reiki master teacher is the person who uses their hands and has symbols that they draw to pass an attunement into the student's auric fields so that their ability to channel is strengthened through the symbols that are used to pass the Reiki attunements. This energy is to help aid in healing and bringing more healing energy to the body, to the mind, the spirit, and to any imbalances within the auric field. I do believe it takes time to practice it, to learn the energy. Attunements are passed really readily these days, but I do believe it takes a while to become a master, especially as you're cleansing your own auric field and working through your own stuff from your lifetime, from your childhood, all the things that sort of block your own energy field. But just like a mother would take her hands to put on to aid a child's wound, or when we have a stomach pain and we reach for our bellies, headaches, our hands naturally go to these areas. So one reading that I'd done from a woman who channeled was that Reiki used to be passed along actually through schooling long ago on a different planet, actually. So it was a channeled reading, and that it was something that was just natural. And I still believe it's very natural. And some people have healing ability without getting the attunements, although I have found that in passing attunements, it gets stronger. Like I've done Reiki 1 for my husband, and he does Reiki sessions for me, or he'll put his hand on areas to help me, or I'll aid him. So it's an exchange. So that's, in a nutshell, Reiki. And from my perspective, there's a lot of different kinds of Reiki out there. And now coming back to protection and grounding, I want to share some tools that are useful to help anyone who's having a hard time with absorbing a lot of energy. First and foremost, sipping on water all day is a great way to aid in cleansing your field, cleansing your body. So, having water with you, purified water if possible, rather than tap water, is a great way to kind of move energy throughout your body and eliminate toxins from your body. Another way is to use crystals. And if you don't know much about crystals, I recommend just going to a crystal shop and sort of playfully going in and seeing what your body is drawn to. That is how I approach my crystals, as well as my essential oils oftentimes. And then, I'll read about them later sometimes. So this is black tourmaline, great for grounding and protection. I'll carry it in my coat pocket or in my pant pockets, or in my purse. So black tourmaline is a great way to help absorb the negative energy, and you're not absorbing it yourself. Selenite, some people really love also. I kind of leave this in my car. I have it more around in my home. Um, and it's a replenishing, it's also a replenishing crystal, and it's known to self-clear itself also. Um, Another thing is that I've done some visualizations where I imagine sitting within a crystalline selenite shower, and that helps really strengthen my energies. Any kind of meditation is a great way to sit within your own energy field. And the more you meditate, the more you sit in quiet, the more you sort of strengthen your own energetic field and your comfort in sitting alone, quiet, breathing, and allowing yourself to sit in the very moment in time. It strengthens your auric field, and it allows for you to really be with yourself, and meditation helps and aid in that too. A newer method that I found and that I love is calling your name as many times as you need in preparation, like in the morning, saying, I would say, Vivian Sakilariu, Vivian Sakilariu, Vivian Sakilariu, Vivian Sakilariu. And it's calling back all your energy, and you're imagining like your energy coming back to you, and everything else is left behind, but pulling in your own energy through calling your name, your full name, and imagining yourself strengthening and standing up like a strong tower. There's also a power pose where you can stand almost like Wonder Woman with your hands on your hips, and you're standing, feeling the earth's energy beneath the ground through your feet, planting your feet on the ground strongly, even stomping your feet on the ground, and holding the pose. And imagining, you could just stand there. That's your power pose. That's another little technique. Also, one you've probably heard before is connecting with Gaia or Mother Earth with breath, and with putting your feet on the ground and imagining your feet having these root-like structures that grow and grow and grow, connecting down to the core of the earth, of Mother Earth, and you're feeling totally supported and guided and guarded, protected. And as you're doing that, you're also connecting your upper chakras to the heavens, to Father Sky, and opening up your auric field to receive light, and imagining this light source coming in and down through your body. If you don't have a great time visualizing, you can just go through that walkthrough of connecting your feet to the ground, rooting down to the earth, imagining like your energy running down into the earth, into the ground, into the core. And then imagining Mother Earth supporting you, and her energies coming up into your feet, into your hips, into your knees, to your core, and mingling with the heavens energetics. So it's combining those two energies within your auric field. Another thing I like to use is Palo Santo or sage. I love doing this occasionally in my home, just burning a little bit, and the smoke is cleansing for our auric fields, kind of wishing that around, moving it over your auric field, the top of your head. Palo Santo, sage, those could be purchased at Whole Foods or online. It smells really lovely. It comes from a bark from the tree. It's a way to earth and ground, and also, cleanse your field and cleanse space. Once a month around the new moon or the full moon is a good time too, or anytime you're feeling funky, or, someone in the family's feeling funky, it's a great tool to just cleanse the space. It's a little ritual to kind of move energy and clear energy, and having that intention, like, okay, I'm gonna take this tourmaline for protection today. That's my intention, so everything bounces off my field. Those are just some tools. And then we've got also essential oils. One that I've really enjoyed is Release. So as empaths, we tend to absorb things. I work at a school, I teach, I also work with clients and people. And so release is a lovely one to help cleanse anything that feels stuck. It's subtle, but it's very nice. I love the smell of it too. I like using earthy scents like clary sage and also cypress or pine. These are I subscribe to Young Living oils. So these are the oils that I like using, among many others. Frankincense is another love. It's a little more expensive, so I tend to not use this one as much. And then Angelica is one that people swear by, and I use it sometimes, but for protection, like applying some, at the wrists, at the navel, shoulders, wherever you feel. I love oils and crystals because they're very intuitive. I love using my intuitions, and that's how I've been guided, to go about using crystals and energy, essential oils. I want to say that with essential oils, there's still research being done and stuff. It is plant medicine, it's plant-based. They're excreted from the plants, so they're very strong, and it's advised to use another oil, a carrier oil like almond oil or olive oil, to mix with it, just for safety. I don't always follow that because I like them direct, and they're pretty powerful that way as well. Let's see. And one more thing I think is prayer or prayer intention with self-protecting and releasing energy as an empath. So, asking guides or, whatever God, goddess, light, universal, light force, energy, whatever it is that you pray to or have faith in, praying and using your intention to really call in your own energy and ask to release energy that is not yours. So anything that is not mine, I ask for it to be left behind. I ask for it to go to the highest light and to be evolved in its greatest way. And now I call all of my own energy back right now in this moment, in this very moment of time, from every space, all time and space that has ever existed. And I bring my whole spirit, energy, body back to me. Amen. So that's an example of, a prayer to call in my own spirit and my own energy. So these are some ways that I use and have found to be helpful. I also did a little bit of research and, of course, sipping water. Magnesium, I love this spray. I've been using this. I forget to take my supplements. It's a little hard to get used to because it's a little stingy, but I've gotten used to it. And I spray it on my legs and I rub it in. It's oily and it's salty. So it's got like this salt element. So it could be stingy, but I really love rubbing that in. And it's just a little ritual. Self-healing, different rituals that help you feel your own love for yourself. You're developing these practices so that you're strengthening your own spirit, your own soul, your own self. And it's really important because that strengthens yourself as an empath. It is a double-edged sword being an empath because you're so sensitive and you absorb so much and all these emotions are coming through. When I was doing energy work a little more regularly, I use these tools, but sometimes taking on more than I can handle. So then, going out for walks in nature. These are so important. Being by the river. If you're just doing 2 or 3 of these things, do them. Do the things that call to you at the right time. But there's a huge toolbox to self-care as a sensitive, as an empath. And you can't go wrong. Try some of them and tell me what works for you or what calls to you. And a couple other things that I saw is moderating caffeine. So, as empaths too, we tend to um, sometimes self caffeinate throughout the day, but we're kind of burning out our adrenals and we're more fatigued than we know if we're just caffeinating all day because it's false energy that we're giving ourselves, as well as having more protein for breakfast than what we might be used to. So things like eggs and pea protein, even leftovers, something a little more hearty than just like, a cracker, biscuits, or bread or things like that. Even cereals might not be enough. So thank you for watching. Please let me know what's helped you in these tips, what you'll take away from it, and if you have any other questions. All right, have a great day.